Okay, hello from Expo 2020. Edie's lucky enough to be here throughout the whole of the week, reporting live on Global Goals Week, which is running throughout the week, all about driving action around the SDGs. Now, a big part of that action is really about mobilising and inspiring and hearing from the youth when it comes to driving action over the next 8 years to achieve the SDGs by 2030. And on that note, I'm delighted to be joined by a youth representative and a leader in her own right. Nisreen Elsaim is the chair of the Secretary General's Youth Advisory Group on Climate Change. Nisreen, hello. Thank you for joining us. Talk to us a bit about the event you've just been involved in and what your reflections of this morning as we launch Global Goals Week have been.
Yes, of course, the SDGs is a very big thing, not only for the UN, but for the whole development processes of different countries and different nations. And yesterday, it was the launch of the Global Goals Week, and today is a complement event to maybe explore more and go deeper in some of the sustainable development goals that we think that we need more actions on, and we think that it impacts us the most, but also to listen to young people from different kind of backgrounds, from business, from innovation, from governments, but of course from civil society and activists to see their perspective on how SDGs can be improved and how can we actually reach the promise of 2030.
And you gave an impassioned talk in that panel discussion earlier, and it's the second time I've been lucky enough to witness you speak. I was at COP26 climate talks in Glasgow, a bit closer to Edie's home. At that talk, you kind of famously held up the sign with 47% on it and showed Boris Johnson. Talk to us about what that 47% sign meant, what it represented.
Well, 47% is the world population between the age of 18 and the age of 30. And I always note that the number is bigger when you count age of 15 and age of 35. So if we manage to actually wider the scope of young people age, then we have wider the number that we're talking about. So the total number of the population world between the age of 15 and the age of 35 is 62%, which is even more than 47%. But I just wanted to make very clear that we are big population, and I had more than 37 head of states and prime ministers in the room with me, not only Boris Johnson, of course. So I was saying these are the people who elect you, and this is the people who you should listen to, because this is our future.
Yeah, and on the subject of that future, we're now in 2022, a kind of new year, if you like. How do you feel currently about the current state of play when it comes to achieving these sustainable development goals in now just 8 years? Are you still optimistic?
Well, actually, we don't have other choice. Losing optimism or losing hope is a privilege that we don't have. Let's guess we lost hope and we stopped being optimistic. Then do what? Go on the beach and wait to die? Of course we'll not do this. So we will, of course, always stay optimistic and very hopeful, but action-oriented hope. Not like the kind of tokenism, not like selling dreams kind of hope, because we have to have parameters, we have to have milestones, and we have to have action points. Otherwise, it will be just blah, blah, blah.
Nice use of phrase. As we wrap up then, talking about Edie's audience of business leaders and people that are on the ground driving change around the SDGs, what would be your kind of key piece of advice when it comes to mobilising, listening to and kind of driving the action around youth?
Please avoid greenwash. And why this is my key advice is, unfortunately, we are not doing the work we are doing because we want to be famous, or we want our products to be sold more, or we want to be like role models for the next generations. We are doing this because the universe needs us, the planet needs us, and the future generations need us. So if you only did greenwashing, you might sound rock for the current situation, but then how much helpful are you for the future situation? And again, of course, there is no jobs in a dead planet, and humanity was there before the economy. So whatever we need to preserve the humanity, whatever we need to preserve the nature and the environment is by far a top priority than any other benefit or income sources or anything else. It's of course very important to have a source of income and growth model, but also it's more important to have a planet to have this on in the first place. I always ask the audience a question. Do you prefer to live long, healthy life but simple, or you want to die tomorrow but be super rich? And they always, of course, choose the very simple, healthy life. And this is the rational choose. This is the national decision. I mean, we can do both. And that's why we push very much to the business. We can have a growth model that actually conserves the environment. And this growth model is not the greenwash model. It's the actual responsibility model where you actually care about the environment as much as you care about your profit.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us and be at this event. It's been a hugely inspiring morning for me and hopefully for Edie's audience as well. A buffet lunch is being served behind us and it's got very busy, so I'll let you go now so that we can grab some food and get back into the event. And thanks again for joining us back at home, and see you again soon.